Join one of Virginia's oldest and most experienced personal injury law firms as we explore how the law does and doesn't work, the art of leadership, and the power of community. Now, here are your hosts, Peter Burnett and Jonathan Slater.
This morning, we've got Roxce Castillo here with us, and this is going to be a very interesting discussion about a Facebook site here in Loudoun County called Ladies of Loudoun that I'm told as of this morning has over 30,000 members on that Facebook. And I think, and Roxce will correct me, that it's 100% women.
I hope.
Yeah.
We can get on that too.
That could get a little funny.
We'll get on that topic.
So I just wanted to start out, with Roxce and ask you how this all came together. You're a mother. You have a job. You're a very busy person. You live here in Loudoun, but nonetheless, you found the time and had the idea to make this thing go. Tell us a little bit about it.
I'll give you the cliff notes for this. The group's gonna be 6 years old next February. Until in 3 months. When I moved here almost 11 years ago. I joined a yard sale page. That yard sale page was probably the biggest one at that time. That was almost 5 years ago. The lady who was taking care of that yard sale page no longer had the time, so she gave it to me. I'm like, yeah, I'll take care of it. No problem. I'll do it. Because I like social media. So then I started interacting with the people who were selling their stuff there. And I'm like, maybe we should have a happy hour, do something. So we hosted a happy hour. At that time, someone who had just moved from Maryland was living across the street. So she joined me at the happy hour. We left the happy hour. We're like, we should have a group for women. She mentioned there was a group for at her town that was just for the women there too. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let's name it the Real Housewives of Loudoun County, because at that time that's the show I was watching and I was obsessed with the New Jersey one. So the next morning she sends me something familiar, but it was more like a like page, and I was like, I don't want a like page. No one's gonna want to know what I'm talking about. I'm not interesting. And then we created the group right there the next day, February 16th. And then,
how many members did you have when you first started 6 years ago?
A couple hundreds, but it grew up pretty quick because at that time I shared it in different yard sale pages because that's all where I was able to share it, because there was really nothing that I knew that I was knowledgeable of having anything similar to my stuff. To this
So what
group.
Pages did you share it with?
Yard sale pages.
Oh,
Dallas
okay.
Inform, the Dallas Yard, all the yard sale pages, and then just blew up in the people who were already in the yard sale page. The ladies joined, and it's just
was it pretty clear to you that most folks were local that were joining?
Yes, at that point, yes.
And I take it the yard pages are kind of geographic, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's no point looking at a yard sale in New Jersey.
No, why would you?
Right? Yeah, why would you exactly?
Yeah.
And so they were local already.
Yes.
And jumped on this opportunity
because we just promoted it as like a group for women to help each other, lift each other, empower each other, have fun, and just like that, it grew.
What would you say initially were the subject areas that you were seeing
At first,
online?
it was just us joking around, just being funny and silly and being as positive as we can. And then it grew to recommendations and experiences of different businesses. It grew up on its own. Like, it just blew up by itself.
Did that surprise you that it grew so much?
Yes, because I was excited. I kept seeing the growth. I'm like, yes, it's growing. And it finally got to 1,000. I'm like, we got to 1,000. I don't remember when, and then it just came word of mouth.
How big were the yard sale?
The yard sale page for a couple hundreds. Ours was that one that the lady gave me at that time was the biggest one, which was 5,000. That was just 5 years ago.
Because I'm sure that there's a skill set involved here that a lot of people don't understand is involved.
For yard sale pages?
Well, just
for
with these types
group?
of pages in general, administrating a group that's this large.
Yeah, I mean, you always have a goal, and for my group, I just want everyone to be supportive and be positive, but you have people who are not. But I do like the idea of having different opinions from different kinds of women, from literally all kinds of cultures, and that's exactly what we have. We have a big diversity in the group, huge. But then you have the ones who don't agree with you. Like, you can agree and not agree with my post, but
you can be nice about it.
You can be nice about it. You don't. There's no need to tear each other down and
Right.
be rude. There's a ways to
Civility. How about
there's
that?
a way to disagree and be good about it. I mean, I can do it. And then
Well, that has to have become kind of a hallmark of this organization, I would think. I mean, if you were setting that tone early on, then everybody starts buying into it. And I think it's a very positive attribute. It's something that feels good to people, that when they get on it, they can speak their minds and not feel like they're going to get trashed, which unfortunately happens too much in social media.
it does. And it happens in the group too. And it's sad.
And if you let it go unchecked, then it could probably cause the whole thing to just implode.
Yeah, and there's been times that we had to remove women from the group because they just want to curse at some other people because they don't agree.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you have the most amazing women in the group who are just supportive and just want to share love and positive, and then you have the ones who I guess are not as happy and just want to tear you down. I mean, they do it to me.
So, do you become the police department of the Facebook page? I mean, how do you regulate?
I've been
if
very
you will?
lucky and blessed that I have a lot of women who love the group so much who will message me what's going on, because obviously I don't see everything. Who will text me or call me so I can be like, hey, this is happening. Can you check it out?
And they'll say something like, "Did you see this post?" And she's doing it again, or
Yep.
whatever.
Oh, yeah, exactly like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, it's not just the negative. Like, it's not just the Augusta group. We've done and raised so much money for so many charities, and those women will help you in a heartbeat.
Well, and so before we talk about, and I want to hear about this, the different things you do, because that's a big deal to me. Your charitable efforts and the way you pull people together to support things, I just think is a spectacular part of the
So
story.
the ladies, they love that.
How much time per week or per month or whatever do you spend on that? Because something tells me you put a lot of time into this Facebook page.
Now more than ever, more, because now I'm able to doing more events, and I'm trying to do more events so the ladies can spotlight their businesses, and I just enjoy, and when they're happy, it makes me want to do more.
Well, you and I, as you know, first met a month or so ago at a reception you did here in Leesburg.
Yeah.
And Lenny spotted it and said, Peter, you've been talking about this group because they send us so many clients. Maybe you ought to go over there and say, hey.
Good job, Lenny.
So, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know whether there was going to be 10 people there or what. And I walked in there, and that place was packed.
It was so fun.
Right. And so that goes to say something about, the sense of
the support of
belonging
of the
that you have developed in this group. And so how much time do you put into it in terms of just keeping the page going and organized and whatever has to happen with it?
It's a second full-time job.
Is it really?
100%.
I can imagine.
It's 100% a second full-time job.
And so now you're moving towards, maybe you're going to be able to delegate some of this administration, if you will, and take your considerable talents to doing these events. Is that kind of what you're looking for?
I don't know. I'm just going with it.
Yeah.
We've been doing events. We've been doing events for the group, for the ladies, for a while now. Our biggest events are the expos. It's when we have about 60 vendors and showcasing their work, and we have people come. We give them swag bags for the first 100 people who come in. But now, like doing little other events like I'm doing now, like we hosted brunches. We never done that before. We hosted our very first morning event was when you came. We've never done a morning event ever because we just haven't. And so I try to do different events throughout the year so I can see what works best. I learned that the brunch, you don't do it every month. You do it maybe twice in the summer. Lesson learned. And then,
how about that morning event? My guess was a lot of folks kind of got their kids off to school and had a little bit of time and popped right over there.
Yes, that was great. Because you were able, the people who aren't able to come in the morning, who can come to the afternoon ones, came to this one.
There you go.
Yeah, so I have to think about, okay, let's try to just have a mixture of everything so everyone can try to feel special and come and market their business. That's the whole idea, is for you to market your business and network and get to know each other and learn from each other.
Let me push back on that a little bit. Yes, y'all are very supportive with each other about your respective businesses and the like, but it doesn't come across as a pure business networking
No.
endeavor. It just seems there's a whole lot more humanity
It's a
and
mix of
connection to
everything.
it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So do you do charitable kinds of work?
We do. One of the first organizations we worked with was the Smashing Walnuts. We helped with their gala that they did maybe a few years ago. We helped with twice that year. The first year we were involved. The second time we were involved, we were in charge of raising money for the silent auction. Just that part. It was me and the other two ladies who were at the in the group with me at that time, running the group, and we raised just for that group alone for that part $20,000.
Wow!
Just for the silent auction part.
What does Smashing Walnuts do?
Smashing Walnuts is Ellen Miller. Her daughter passed of cancer a few years ago, so the size of her tumor was It was like size like of a walnut. So when you think about smashing a walnut, it's like smashing cancer.
Very nice.
Yeah.
We had a fun and somewhat tragic episode about two Western Loudoun high school juniors, one of whom had lost her mother to breast cancer just about a year and a half ago. And they started an organization called Our Perfect Warrior Foundation. And their whole purpose is to provide day-to-day family life support for cancer victims, so that they help take kids to school for after-school events, for example. They put together chemo care packages that are custom fit for the person getting the chemo. So if they like playing Scrabble, they get them a Scrabble board. If they like, they get them a blanket. They get them chapstick for their lips, all kinds of stuff.
Organizations like that. One that's geared to kids is Still Brave Foundation, Tattoo Tom. He does that. He collects gift cards and funds the family. So certain organizations focus on, certain things like Smashing Walnuts research, Tattoo Tom, a little bit of the family aspect, helping you with the gas, the money to go see your kid, housing. Just there's so many amazing ones.
And just your enthusiasm for it suggests that the folks in your organization just have a sensitivity.
They love it
for what's going on around them.
They love it so much.
What you all are doing, it's the essence of community.
Absolutely.
Really.
Isn't that true?
It's people coming together and helping each other
Those ladies do.
in the purest, most just sincere way.
Yeah.
Also there's so much negativity out there on social media.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a great example of social media being used
for a good thing. But like I said before, there's a mix of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but you've done a heck of a job on basically keeping it positive.
It's hard.
I bet it is, and
It's
because
very
just
hard.
for the reasons John says, that there are people that just vent, for lack of a better way of putting it, and many of you who are perpetually positive, let's say, it's you don't like it. It's unpleasant, and it's not constructive either, which is another thing you guys are very into being. And so getting that tamped down and setting that example of positivity is a big deal, but it's hard to do.
So hard.
Day in and day out.
Do you have are you the only real administrator for the group? I know that you have folks that help you out kind of informally.
I had help. I have help with one really friend of mine who's not in, I guess, in our world. I don't know how you portray that, or how do you say that. She's not like in the social light, but she helps with approving members, because we have over 1,900 people still trying to join the group, and we cannot get it. We get it down, and then it goes right back up after a few days. She does help me with certain posts.
Okay. What's the process of application for somebody to join? I didn't realize you had a waiting list of almost 2,000 people. How does that work?
That was like 2 weeks ago. Now it's almost up to 2,000 again. Yeah. We have questions that you put on the submission little in the Facebook group, but we look through your profile and hope that you are not a man. Like, nothing wrong with that.
So when Peter showed up at your event the other morning, you did not mistake him for one of your members.
Not at all.
And I will tell you, John, they were quite nice to me.
And Peter, your application is
pending.
Probably is pending at the bottom of the pile.
Oh yeah.
I can't understand why I keep getting rejected.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one. So she checks. She's really good at checking. If you have mutual friends, for me it's easier because I have so many people who are mutually friends with other people. We try to keep it as local as possible. There's people who literally email me that I've been waiting for months to try to join your group. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, the best thing you can do, and I have to check your profile, is literally friend request me. I have to check your profile, and then I'll add you if it's that important. If it's that you really need to join the group because you're moving from out of town, you want to find doctors, schools, and that happens all the time. I get phone calls because a lady couldn't find her cat or her dog. My phone is on my website. My personal phone number is there.
Wow.
She calls me like, I'm an older lady, and I was like, what can I do for you? She's like, well, someone posted in your group. They found my cat. I need, I'm like, okay, she's a little older, so I need to walk her step by step on how to join, how to find me. So I'm like, is this your cell phone number? Here's my personal Facebook link. Add me, and I'll add you to the group and tag you on the post. And it's happened. I mean, a few times now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think people know that.
That's gotta feel good, huh?
It feels awesome.
Yeah.
It's so good because they help each other out, and then if I can help a little bit just to make that transition, I'm happy.
So I'm gonna guess that your membership is majority membership are women between 20 and 40. Is that fair, roughly?
It is. Yep. I can actually show you those statistics because Facebook has that for me to see.
Well, and so one of the things I'm wondering is, I'm guessing you've got a lot of mothers.
Oh, yes.
And so that represents folks who are taking care of a lot of children. What, if any, impact do you see in terms of how this organization helps mothers through the big job of being a mother and taking care of kids, and how all that, do you do
so
things
good.
with kids and that kind of thing?
Yeah, there's the new moms who have a newborn who will ask questions, and there's the ones that have 3 kids or have kids who are already in college. They'll comment and they'll give advice.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. It's amazing. But then again, you have, the ones who...
Well, and I can imagine, for example, somebody is new to the area.
Yep.
They get pregnant.
Yep.
And they're going, hey, who do you like for OBGYN?
Boom.
Yeah,
You
boom.
get it.
Right.
You'll get bombarded with the most amazing businesses in Loudoun County and surrounding areas. It's the truth.
And
so unlike
a
lot of review sites you go to, you're going to get unfiltered, real responses.
Oh, this is you'll get the real stuff,
right?
And I'm not joking. You'll get,
So that's really helpful for someone having confidence in accurate assessments
100%.
of the various people that they're dealing with. Whether it's somebody to come remodel their kitchen or put in carpet,
everything you can think of,
every vendor.
Peter, it's been said, it's been asked.
Wow. Now, what does your family think about the amount of time you spend working on this thing?
My husband's 100% supportive.
That's fantastic.
He's the one that helps me sometimes with my ideas. I'm like, this, I want to do this, but it doesn't sound right because in my head, I feel like my head runs 1,000 times a mile. So when I want to put my ideas on paper or on my post,
so do you go on your site and ask for some recommendations for some mindfulness or meditation people so that you can just calm down?
Go to my yoga. I go to Yoga Shack and I get my whiskey and I'm relaxing. That's my meditation, my whiskey and my yoga.
Yoga and whiskey.
That's a good combination. Remember that, John. You've adopted one of those. We won't say which one it is. Tell me, we were talking a little bit earlier about you're starting a podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep an eye out for that, and I'm here to help you if you'd like. I would be delighted to help you. But the reason being, you brought some magic to this Facebook site and page.
That's a good word for it.
And
Thank you.
I expect that we might see more of the same, just expanded out into the podcast. There's going to be some connection there, isn't there?
Oh yeah, my whole idea with this, I just want I want anyone who wants to come to the podcast who's going to teach us about life. Because I'm 34 and I'm still learning a lot.
hopefully that will be a lifetime experience because that's what makes life most satisfying. I think.
love that.
It's,
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
learning. You know?
Yeah. So part of the podcast, we're going to have a little segment that we want to feature a local business as well to promote and share their job or their boutique or whatever they sell, whatever they do. Even if you have a side hustle, club Pilates, Massage Hope, Yoga Shack, Studio Blue. Anybody who wants to come set up a table and talk this, like a little bit like Ellen DeGeneres and Joe Rogan, a little mix of all that. But in Loudoun County.
And I think sort of hearing it from the trenches, having people that are just going to tell it like it is, and it seems to me your organization, that's kind of a hallmark of your Facebook page. Everybody tells it like it is, a little bit too much like it is sometimes, and you're working on that issue. But it's super valuable.
Oh, yeah.
And to expand on that in a podcast environment, you can spend an episode talking about one particular kind of business, and a lot of folks who are customers of that kind of business are going to learn the ones to go with and ones to stay away from, and even folks that are thinking about maybe starting one of their own going to get a feel for what it's like to have to actually go through the process.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. I'm a little nervous about it because, who isn't nervous about trying something new? I get nervous when I do events. I got nervous when I came to this event. Like, I don't know if people are going to show up. I never know what to expect.
Yeah, but that's what the whiskey and the yoga's for, right?
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah, you do that at home afterwards, not ahead of time.
But it was great. It was awesome, and I was so excited to see them come and talk to each other, and the businesses make connections, and hopefully they made some sales and they made some future clients. That's what it's all about.
Well, and let me just make this offer to you. We would be delighted to have any of your Facebook members who have something that they'd like to share, come talk to us like you are right now.
That would
We'd be
be
delighted.
Fantastic, because I know there's so many people who would love to share anything they're doing, whether it is a business aspect or a charitable idea or something of their foundation. That would be fantastic. The more exposure, the better.
I just have a real interest in various kinds of things in the community. It's just part of the sort of rounding of my life, if you will. I love my work and I love my family, but also love community stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
And mine's been sort of little specific sorts of projects. For a while I was cuckoo about the new courthouse getting built and some of that kind of thing. But I think that this whole notion of community interest that you've got going is really a nice fit for us to sort of promote that kind of community activity. It's so different than the notion of someone saying, well, I pay my taxes, That's right. That's what Department of Social Services is for, et cetera. It's one-on-one, up close and personal.
It's fun. I love it.
And it's fun.
You have built something of true value for the community.
I hope the ladies know that, because it is really magnificent. Like, it's awesome.
I think your numbers alone speak to it. You without a word spoken, just knowing you got 30,000 members, there's a reason for that.
No words here. I think we've been in the newspaper 3 times, which is
The Post did a
awesome.
story on you guys, not too long ago.
A few years ago.
Well, a few years ago.
Oh yes,
Okay.
yes, they did, because we did our first expo.
Gotcha.
That was
There you go.
here.
Started doing those.
Yeah.
Tell me when and how it came to be that you changed your name. That's just got to be an interesting story. I'll bet you had a little bit of controversy when that happened.
You're a lawyer.
Yes.
Let's just leave it that way.
Sure.
Oh, you got a little push against you. Okay. Well,
I was going to ask about that, but thought that it might come up.
And for our
like
listeners,
I said, I'm an open book, but I know what to say. Like, I'm just gonna say, you're a lawyer, and that's all I really can say.
well, I'm sure that there were some folks out there that thought Real Housewives of Loudoun was a little too close to some other commercial endeavors and didn't like that name competing, perhaps. And you don't need to say anything, because I'm sure certain agreements were made, as we lawyers will do.
And lawyers can be just a real pain in the neck, can't they?
Yeah, she knows that.
I personally, the lawyers that got involved with my stuff is Rebecca Geller. I love her. She was really helpful.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Have any other similar groups popped up anywhere out there?
Similar
Meaning-
with the name
With the name, sure.
or with in general? Yes,
Yes.
100%. A lot.
So people you think may be copying your model at some level.
I say I always wish them well, and if they want advice, anything I can help them with, I'm here.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone
Right.
always wants to do something on their own or something that they can do better. I mean, I want to do this. Maybe someone like you have a podcast, and I want to do a podcast to see what I can do with it.
Sure.
So same thing with people having their own groups. You want to have your own group? Go ahead. You want advice, help? I'll tell you what you need to know.
Has anybody reached out to you for help?
Always.
I would imagine so.
All the time. And it's funny because I have people who actually who move to different states, and they're like, they don't have anything like that. Can you help me? I was like, yeah. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, whatever you want, I'm here. But I had people, even one of my friends from Florida, who reached out to me recently. I'm like, can you help me do what you're doing? I'm like, absolutely.
I'm going to guess that the hallmarks or the best descriptors of your history with this group over the last 6 years have been patience and persistence. That's really what it takes. I think that without you being the glue that binds this whole group, it tends to splinter. That negativity that you've been controlling can cause people to just go the other way, lose interest, not like it. So you're just
sad.
holding certain... Yeah, it is.
It sucks.
Holding the standards that you have, I think, has caused people to stick with it. We naturally all want to be positive, particularly when we're doing good things with our neighbors.
Exactly.
And so if you don't want to hear all that nasty. And
no, if you're going to be nasty, I mean, maybe there's a positive way to say it without
Sure
being
there is.
rude. There
Sure
is,
there is.
because I've seen it, and I do it myself.
Right. I mean, that's just plain old diversity of thinking, which is great. I mean,
Like I said, I love it.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
I mean,
It's
the cultures,
terrific.
we do have rules in the group that we used to have a whole bunch, but then I'm like, you know what? Nah, after I took over the group on my own, I changed that because I'm like, I'm not no one's babysitter. I like the idea of everyone having their own opinions. The only rules that we're going to have here is no religious talk, because we know how that goes, and no political posts, because we know how that goes as well. And if you're going to take a screenshot from someone in my group and you're going to humiliate them and talk about them in another group, you're going to get removed, blocked, and do not message me and ask me why.
So that's just good common sense civility for what your group is. Treat each other respectfully, like human beings, and we'll all get most out of our differing thoughts.
Yeah.
We're just not going to get into name calling and getting down rabbit holes that
There's
are
already
not
so much
productive.
going on. Why are you going to, this should be my happy place. And that's what a lot of people, I want that to be for people, is to come on the group and just have fun.
Yeah. Well, and some of the recommendations you all make improve people's lives.
100%. I have one person who's told me, because of the group and the business she gets out of it, she's able to have her home, able to have her kids go to college. And that just makes me happy. I'm like, that's one of the main things about the group is that.
And for every story like that you know about, there's at least 3 that you don't know about.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, our time is running out, and what I'd like to do is characterize this as the end of chapter 1. with Roxce.
I like that. I'll be back.
And that's it. And Roxce, thank you for coming today. And let's keep talking about your podcast, because I think that's just meeting you and knowing what you've done so far. That podcast is going to be very popular.
Thanks. I
and
hope
I would
so.
be delighted to be supportive of it in any way I can.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roxce.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Law and Community, a podcast from Burnett and Williams. If you have any questions or wish to learn more, please leave us a message at our website, www.burnettwilliams.com. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to the show on whatever platform you're listening to. Don't forget to follow our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Burnett Williams and give us a call at 703-777-1650 for any questions you have. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Until next time, take care.